Don't know which of your wedding images to choose for your portfolio or blog? This video will teach you how to do it. Let's get to it. Hi, I'm Juma, and I teach useful things about content creation. And let's take a trip down memory lane to when I was a full-time wedding photographer. This video you're going to look at now actually was from a live stream that I did with a couple of my friends. It was really spontaneous, but in the middle of it, I got into some of our old wedding work and I began to go through how I put together our blog post with all of these wedding images, the techniques behind it, the method, my thinking process, my thought process when I was doing it. And it's a really helpful look into how to put together wedding portfolios. So let's jump into the video, stick with it until the end. I go through lots of examples and I show you exactly how to do, well, most of how to do it. There's some things I don't mention, but we could always follow those things up in another video. Let's get into it. All right, so this is Kwame and Trisha's wedding. We shot in Tobago at the Pavilion, Pigeon Point, Tobago, right? So I'm gonna solo this here. All right, so when we're doing wedding portfolios, one of the things that we always think about is how people are going to go through the entire portfolio story. So you can't just have a set of the same images over and over again. You must have rhythm and you must have some type of push and pull. I like to think of it as pulling in the viewer and pushing them back out, pulling in the viewer, pushing them back out. So you want to keep visual interest as you're going through the portfolio. You don't want to have a series of same images unless there's a reason for that happening, unless the distinction is so great in the images, even though they're similar, that somebody will notice, or unless you're trying to tell a particular part of the story that requires you to share multiple same images, right? So this is Kwame and Patricia. We shot this a long time ago. This is what? How many years ago did you shoot this? This is 4 years ago, right? It's not that long, actually. I thought it was longer than that. Excellent couple. So I always like to start off the wedding blogs or the portfolio or the galleries with some contextual shot to set the context, especially if it's Tobago and it's beautiful and it's blue. I like to set the context for those things. You don't always get that shot, but in this case, it's almost like a nice graphic shot where you're framing something inside of a structure. So you can see the beach outside there on one hand, you can see this kind of house. So it looks Caribbean, the colors are nice, and it almost looks Spanish. You have a nice frame to it. So I felt that this was an interesting shot to start off with. It looks like you're peering through something, almost like two eyes peering through something, right? This is the obligatory dress shot. I think the bride wanted this shot, so we did that for her. I don't usually like run behind these type of shots, but sometimes it's good to have them in there. Of course, you have to have your interaction shot. This is the bride and her bridesmaids, and they're having a laugh. This was genuine, was not staged. And we love the reflection shots as well. So you can see already we're beginning to kind of move. So we move from outdoor context and we're moving you inside. Now we're fully inside here, and then we even get onto more detail. So we're looking at the color and we're looking at some creativity in this shot too. So we move from far out to close up, but we move to close up in a very creative way by showing a reflection. Actually, that little piece of image here on this side, this little chair here, I would have cut that out if I hadn't noticed it. I don't think I noticed it until afterwards. And then you like to do this call and response type of thing where the bride is looking this way. You can see her looking to the left, and then the person who she's communicating with is looking to the right. So you literally have a conversation going on in these two shots. All right, look at the eye line. And they may not have been actually communicating with each other, but in the portfolio, when you do that, it's almost like you have so Nick, what do you call that? Let me put Nick back on. So check this out. So when you get here and you see this shot, and the next shot you get to and you see this, in your brain, you connect those two. It's subconscious. Mm-hmm. So it's a call and response. So she smiles and her parents or her aunt and her mom, I think it was her aunt and her mom, smile back. It's subconscious. So those two pictures in that particular order are very, very deliberate.
Yeah. It is.
All right, and then we go back to the makeup because we didn't finish with that. And this one is kind of shooting through some of the other makeup stuff. That's why you get the nice colors. This is not edited in. That's how the shot was taken in camera. And of course, we need to get some details. So we shoot past the hand and get the details of the lips. And you can see the matching color on the makeup artist's hand right by her thumb there that matches the lips. And it goes across in one straight line. You can see it here in one straight line. Look at this. One straight line. So from the touch of color here to the lips to the brush, one straight line. It's very nice. And then this is a shot that a lot of people like. It's become really very popular now.
Nice,
Backlighting
nice.
this spray. Yeah, everybody likes that
Yes.
now. In this case, I think I did some dodging and burning on, well, some dodging, not burning, dodging on the bride's face to make it look a little. Let me just solo this. Let me go back up and show the shot before, I didn't solo that before. Is the line I was talking about here. This is, in fact, a very popular shot now. People will just set up the lights so that they get this spray. At first, when we did it, it was novelty, like, oh, again, this whole spray thing. Because when light passes through water, it refracts the light. It bends where the light is going. And so you have it appearing on the screen like little, you can see the mist. And that's what people love about it. Dress shot. Well, this is a nicer dress shot. This is one I prefer because it's a dress shot and it's a reflection shot. All right, you can see the reflection in the mirror, which I like to do. This one was a teary shot, but that's not clear here. Oh, let me solo this again. This is mom. I just found this was nice. This one was neither here nor there in terms of the overall arc, but it was a nice shot of the bride. She looks really well put together here, very nice. And putting together her shoes, and then all the friends come back. It's very happy shots. It makes you feel happy. This one was a real up in the air. I could have left this one out. This one was up in the air, but I left it in because it helped progress the story a little bit. Then we changed context. So you see the context switch. So we had you inside. We put you inside. Now we put you back outside. We changed context. Of course, we show where the ladies are going to, and of course, we show the shot of them here. And then the bride is coming down. So this one is a framed shot with the bride coming down the stairs. You have to see these things before it happens. Otherwise, you'll never get the shot. She did not stop for me. She did not stand up and pose. She was walking, and I had to get it while she was walking. And then we did, of course, this stair shot, which was nice. And this one, okay, this is the same thing that's going to happen here, Nicholas. So we remember before we talked about the 180 rule?
Yes, the 180.
Right, so this is the same thing that's going to happen in this series of shots here, right? Or at least these two. So she's coming out. So look at her face, right? You know she's looking at something is happening, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know what that thing is?
No.
You don't know what that thing is, right? Good. So you don't know what that thing is, but the next shot will give you context. The very next shot will give you context. And that's what I mean by you have to craft the portfolio. So when she comes out like this, and then the next shot is, this is her brother. So when you look at those two together, this one, and I'm obeying the rules, I'm obeying the 180 rule. This and this, portfolio-wise. He's crying, everything is beautiful. And she comes out very happy and sees him. And of course, he has a different reaction. So those are the things I'm talking about. It's very, very deliberate when you put it together like this. I love this shot. I really battled with putting in this particular shot because the guy in the front blinked, but I love the moment of him kind of getting ready and the hand on his shoulder here. The moment is coming up type of thing. I love that whole feel. And that hand on the shoulder really helped pull it out. Is there something is happening and he's getting support type of thing? Yeah. All right, this one just progresses the story. And of course, we see him looking at her. Right, so again, the same rule applies. She's going somewhere, he's receiving her. Right, two angles.
So Juma, I feel like what you're describing here is how to direct the development of an album as it almost. Like you sound like a movie director, except it's still photos, with the same goal of telling a story and keeping people engaged.
Exactly. And that's the thing. The thing is that you want to do that. You want to tell the story as it goes along. And people use that tell the story thing all the time, and they actually don't really implement it. But we did that. I did that in the portfolios all the time. So when somebody went through, they would be like, oh, so it's not just a mishmash of photos together. Sometimes you will have really great photography, like really excellent quality, but your portfolios, meh. Some of the best photographers in the world not only do they have great single images or great photography overall, but they know how to put together real good portfolios or good blog posts or whatever it is. Excuse me.
Right. Do you then try to in some way represent the hero's journey at all, or that's too much cliche for you?
Well, at the time I was doing this, I didn't even know what the hero's journey was. I didn't think about the hero's journey. I just put it together in a way that makes sense to me. I think I would have pulled from all of the different things I would have experienced inside of photography and a very tiny bit in film And when I put it together in this way, it makes sense. It's only in retrospect later on when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is what was happening. This is why this felt right. And this other thing didn't feel right. At this time, I knew about it, but I wasn't implementing it deliberately. But I knew how the portfolio should feel, how it should look. Just real quick. So she's looking at him. Then we have the ring shot, which takes a lot of work to get right, the focus. I like to be closer than this, but I also don't want to interrupt the people while they're having the ceremony, so I stay away. This one progresses the story a little bit, lighting the candle together. And then we have the hand holding. I battle with this one as well because I could have done this better, but it works in the context. And of course, we see them, something is happening. He's saying something. I think I heard what he said. All right, so let's go and let's come in for a landing here. So the kiss, of course, the reaction. So you want to show the action and the reaction. Important. They're coming out there. This is a nice wide shot. So you push it in and then you pull it back out. Right? So in terms of the angle. You have to have these emotional shots. This one, like intimate shots like this. That's also very good. Then you change context again. So you see every time we go somewhere new, we set the context. All right, we change context again. So then now they're at the beach. I give some context to the whole. I think they wanted those shots of the cake, the music. You could now it begins to set the environment. So you get the beach, you get the indoors, you get what's going to happen, and you get the sound of it. So this tells you the sound. So the guy's playing steel pan. Usually I like to do that second part, but because of how the portraits were, we had to do this part afterwards in terms of the order. So it's kind of a nice diamond kind of looking shot. Of course, this was for them. It's a wide shot. And then we went to take portraits together. You know, we use the sun here. I like to do this kind of autofocus stuff sometimes, focused on the veil. Back to the reception. Some details, and then they bust in the door. And the dancing begins. All right, I'll go through this kind of fast. Yeah, so, and then we took some more portraits outside and back inside. So I like to do these shots where people are giving speeches, and then we have the other people who they're talking about in the foreground or background. It makes us some really nice, as the same technique I use for your wedding, Erwin. You know, it gives some nice responses.
Right.
Yeah. So you always like to show the action, and sometimes, well, this time I didn't show the reaction, but like these type of shots. Okay, so yeah. So here I show the action and reaction. You can see it here. Action, of course. Well, they could go back up for the reaction here. Basically the same thing. Right? I used to love receptions. Receptions with energy. See the backlighting again? Energy. Yeah, a lot of energy to the point where it's like when you go home later, you're very, very extremely tired. So this is this is a crane shot, the 20 millimeter held high.
Would you mind crane?
Yeah, the crane. Where I am not looking through the viewfinder. I'm not looking at anything on the camera. I'm just shooting by total feel. If you do it enough, you kind of get a sense for how things are framed with that lens. And that 20 millimeter lens, I knew how it would frame people. And then we have some of this. So you always hit them high, and then you do what? You hit them low. So more dancing, more dancing. So you can see low, high, then low, low, low. And this one, then you get some details. Oh, they wanted this shot. There was somebody who passed away. A group shot. Of course, her brother. The tie around the neck. I like when these foreground shots are like have people with different expressions. So the guy on the left is like, yeah, he's going somewhere. This guy is having fun with the glasses, but she's in the background with her hands in the air. I like his expression here.
Fresh Prince. It looks like the Carlton dance.
It looks like the Carlton. Well, look at his fingers. His fingers are like
Nah, that's a really good shot. That's a really cool shot.
Look at his fingers. His fingers are like, you know, he's like, oh, look at the eyes on the fingers.
Look at his body. You caught his body mid.
It's undulating. It's like mid undulation. Yeah. It's like he's like, yeah. It's really nice. This is the bouquet toss. All right, we know all these angles. Right. Right. She's from Colombia, right? So they had like a hybrid wedding type of thing going on. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm still soloing this. And then he throws the garter and walks away like a bouse as the garter up in the corner here.
Like a
up
bounce. Slow motion. Explosion. Boom.
All right. Dancing. More dancing. More dancing. If your couple really wants you to take good photos, what they do is they tell you what they're going to do. And so they had something called La Hora Loca, the crazy hour, in which they had like Colombian color themed drinks, and they had Colombian dancing, and she put on a sash, as you could see in some of the earlier shots. She put her sash on. All right. All right, we have some dirty feet here. Very cool. 20mm lens. Look at the guy's levitating. He's literally off the ground. 20mm lens is a boss. It's a boss. The guy is levitating. I like those type of levitation shots. So this shot was interesting. And so when we had to go outside to do the fireworks, and when we went up, we didn't know where it was going to happen, and we positioned the thing because we had to light it and balance for the fireworks. And what happened is that as soon as she put her hands up, the fireworks just exploded right above her head. So it literally formed this kind of line going down here. I can see she has a blue drink in her hand from La Hora Loca. And then these type of shots that I like to take with the crane.
Yes, man. This is I think we have video for this.
You have video for that? Yeah. Well, you know how much times we did videos with limboing? We did a lot of video with limbos. And then the fire. Latin dancing. And that's the last shot. Okay, let's stop now. Hopefully that will help you put together your wedding portfolio. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't just talk about weddings. Actually, I don't really talk about weddings much. I usually talk about content creation in general, and specifically I talk about video. So subscribe and like the channel if you want to hear more useful things about content creation, and I'll see you soon. Bye.